Yeah, okay. Good morning, everybody. So glad to meet you again. Yeah, today is a lecture on review what we've learned during the past 10 days, maybe. So as always, we will do the prayer first. I hope all of you are well and safe during the COVID-19 period. Okay. Now let's do the prayer first. Let's sit upright, place our palms together, and concentrate on the prayer below. We take refuge with our kind mentor, Benny. We take refuge with Shakyamuni Buddha. We take refuge with all the triple jewel of the 10 directions and the 3 periods of time. Verse for opening your future. Then surpass profound and wonderful Dharma. In hundreds of millions of years, it's difficult to encounter. When I say and hear it, receive and behold it, and without you fathom the Tathagata's true meaning, and without you practice the Tathagata's true way, and without you attain the Tathagata's true state. We vow that we can spontaneously express the Buddha's understanding, Buddha's view, Buddha's wisdom, Buddha's merit and virtue, Buddha's capability and Buddha's state through our actions, speech, and thoughts. We also vow that all the living beings can enter into the Buddha's understanding, Buddha's view, Buddha's wisdom, Buddha's merit and virtue, Buddha's capability, and Buddha's state owing to us. Yeah, today we are going to learn to do the review. And before review, I think we will look back at this sentence. The immanent self is timeless, unchanging, always known. I think this translation is very, it's at the top and the standard and at the standard of top standard. Okay, let's go ahead with this sentence first, okay?
The immanent self is timeless, unchanging. The immanent self is timeless, unchanging, always now. The immanent self is timeless, unchanging, always now. The immanent self is timeless, unchanging, always now.
Immanent self. So, who would like to try to recite it? This sentence, a simple sentence. Yeah, time for us to review on this sentence. Okay, Daisy, please, you first.
Timeless, unchanging, always now.
Yes, once again, please.
Okay.
I didn't hear. Yeah, I didn't hear the part.
The immanent self is timeless, unchanging, always now.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, I heard it completely now. Thank you. And who would like to try more? Maybe I will do that. Okay. Okay, Grace, you can write. Yes, you please.
Yes, okay. 我先读一遍好吗？
Yeah, sure, I will.
这个字怎么读？
This one, yeah, try to immanent.
Okay, the immanent self is timeless, unchanging, always now.
Perfect. Yes, thank you so much. Thank you.
So
now I will try it. The immanent self is timeless, unchanging, always now. The immanent self is timeless, unchanging, always now. Now today we will go ahead with the review on the whole paragraph about duality. Duality, yeah, something about the duality of pain and suffering, such as this, and what is the real samadhi is. What is the real samadhi? Okay, let's go over it.
The immanent self is timeless. The mind can be likened to a trap for consciousness, a labyrinth or a prison. Or human consciousness is a continuum. Human consciousness is a continuum. On one extreme, humans are identified with the material self. On the other extreme is samadhi, the cessation of self. Every step we take on the continuum towards samadhi brings less suffering.
Less suffering.
Less suffering does not mean life is free from pain. Samadhi is beyond the duality of pain and pleasure. What it means is that there is less mind, less self creating resistance to whatever unfolds. And that resistance is what creates suffering. Human consciousness is a continuum. On one extreme, humans are identified with the material self. The other extreme is samadhi, the cessation of self. Every step we take on the continuum.
Okay, I think we need to mark it in blank. Every step we took on the continuum towards samadhi brings less suffering and less suffering. Yeah, in this way. Okay, let's go ahead.
Samadhi brings less suffering. Less suffering does not mean life is free from pain. Samadhi is beyond the duality of pain and pleasure. What it means is that there is less mind, less self creating resistance to whatever unfolds. And that resistance is what creates suffering.
Yeah, let's do it sentence by sentence, okay? Let's do it.
Human consciousness is a continuum. Human consciousness is a continuum. Human consciousness is a continuum.
Yeah, this sentence, who would like to try to recite it? Actually, it means that young. Yeah, we are in the movement of thinking. Yeah, we're always thinking, and the consciousness, the edge consciousness is always working. Yeah, if we didn't establish ourselves in the samadhi. Yeah. Okay, and Daisy, you first. I will play it again.
Human consciousness is a continuum.
Yes, you please.
Human consciousness is a continuum.
Yes, thank you so much. And next one is Grace, please.
Yes, human consciousness is a continuum.
Yes, human consciousness is a continuum. Okay, let's go ahead with another sentence.
Human consciousness is a continuum. Human consciousness is a continuum. On one extreme, humans are identified with the material self. On the other extreme is samadhi, the cessation of self. On one extreme, humans are identified with the material self. On the other extreme is samadhi, the cessation of self.
Yeah, do you know the two extremes of on this issue, two extremes. On one extreme, humans identified with material self. On the other extreme is samadhi, the cessation of self. On one extreme, from the Bagua, you can see that this continuum and always working. On one extreme is material self, the other is samadhi. Who would like to recite it?
On one extreme, humans are identified with the material self. On the other extreme is samadhi, the cessation of self. On one
Okay, Daisy, please.
Okay. On one extreme, humans are identified with the material self. On the other extreme is samadhi, the cessation of self.
Wow, yes, perfect. Who would like to try more? Yes, you are amazing. Thank you, Daisy. Okay, Grace, you please.
Yes, okay. On one extreme, humans are identified with the material self. On other one, on the other extreme is samadhi. Samadhi, the cessation of self. The cessation of self.
Yes, perfect. Yes, thank you so much. Cessation of self. Okay, I would like to try more. On one extreme, humans identified with the material self. On the other extreme is samadhi, the cessation of self. One more time. On one extreme, humans identified with the material self. On the other extreme is samadhi, the cessation of self. That's it. These are two extremes here. Now let's go ahead with the third sentence.
Humans are identified with the material self. On the other extreme is samadhi, the cessation of self.
Samadhi.
Every step we take on the cessation of self. Every step we take on the continuum towards samadhi brings less suffering. Less suffering does not mean life is free from pain. Every step we take on the continuum towards samadhi brings less suffering. Less suffering does not mean life is free from pain. Every step we take on the continuum towards samadhi brings less suffering. Less suffering does not mean life is free from pain.
Who would like to try?
Okay, let me recite it.
Yes, please.
Every step towards to every step.
I'll play it for you one more time. Listen to it.
Every step we take on the continuum towards samadhi brings less suffering. Less suffering does not mean life is free from pain.
Yes, please.
Every step we take on the continuum towards samadhi brings less suffering. Less suffering does not mean life is free from pain.
Yes, perfect. One more time, please.
Okay. Every step we take on the continuum towards the samadhi brings less suffering. Less suffering does not mean life is free from pain.
Wow, yes, genius. Yes, thank you so much. You're talented at recitation. Yes, thank you so much. Grace, you please. Hello, Grace. Did you get on mic?
Yes. Okay, 我来背啊。
好。
Every step we take on the continuum towards samadhi, bring us suffering, bring us suffering. That suffering does not mean life is free from pain.
Yes, perfect. Yeah, one more time.
Every step we take on the continuum towards samadhi bring less suffering. That suffering does not mean life is free from pain.
Free from pain. Yes, perfect. Yes, thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah, talented. Every step we take on the continuum towards samadhi brings less suffering. Less suffering does not mean life is free from pain. Okay, one more time. Every step we take on the continuum towards samadhi brings less suffering. Less suffering does not mean life is free from pain. Okay, let's go ahead. One more sentence. Yeah, a bit longer.
Every step we take on the continuum towards samadhi brings less suffering. Less suffering does not mean life is free from pain. Samadhi is beyond the duality of pain and pleasure. Samadhi is beyond the duality of pain and pleasure.
Yeah, I think this is simple. Who would like to try?
Yeah, okay, let me recite it. Samadhi is beyond the duality of pain and pleasure.
Yeah, one more time.
Yeah, samadhi is beyond duality of pain and pleasure.
Perfect. Thank you. And Grace, would you like to try?
Samadhi is beyond the duality of pain and pleasure.
One more time.
Yeah. Samadhi is beyond the duality of pain and pleasure.
Yes, perfect. Yes, perfect. Okay, samadhi is beyond the duality of pain and pleasure. Samadhi is beyond the duality of pain and pleasure. Okay, let's go ahead. The last sentence of today's practice. Okay, let's go ahead.
Samadhi is beyond the duality of pain and pleasure. What it means is that there is less mind, less self creating resistance to whatever unfolds. And that resistance is what creates suffering. What it means is that there is less mind, less self creating resistance to whatever unfolds. And that resistance is what creates suffering. What it means is that there is less mind, less self creating resistance to whatever unfolds. And that resistance is what creates suffering.
Yeah, here, what it means. So here, what does it mean? It points to which word? Because it is a pronoun, so who like to express your opinion about it? What it means? It to point which word?
Samadhi.
Yes, samadhi. So here, this is a sentence, yeah, 承上启下的. This is a sentence, yeah, 承上启下. So here, what it means, what samadhi means, yeah, the real meaning of samadhi. So that's it. So who would like to try to recite it?
Oh, let me do it.
Okay, do it.
What it means is that there is less mind, less self creating resistance to whatever unfolds, and that resistance is what creates suffering.
Yes, perfect. One more time.
What it means is that there is less mind, less self, creating resistance to whatever unfolds, and that resistance is what creates suffering.
And that resistance.
And that resistance is what creates suffering.
Yes, perfect. Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, who would like to try more? How about you, Grace? Would you like to read it?
Yes,
Read it first.
I'm ready.
Okay, read it first. Okay.
Yeah. Samadhi,
I will play it for you.
What it means is that there's less mind, less self creating resistance to whatever unfolds. Not resistance is what creates suffering.
Yes, please.
Yeah. What it means is that there is less mind, less self breathing.
Correct. 18. And the letter A should be pronounced as creating. Yes, perfect.
Creating resistance. Yeah. Creating resistance to whatever unfolds, and that resistance it was creates
Creates. Yes, creates. A, yeah, should be stressed. Creates suffering.
Creates suffering.
Yeah, let's double check.
Yeah.
Wait for a minute. Creates. Sorry. Create. C-R-E-A-T-E. A, pronounced A, create.
Yeah.
Yes, please read it again.
Yeah, okay. What it means is that there is less mind, less suffering, creating no resistance to whatever unfolds, and that resistance is what creates suffering.
Oh, genius. Yeah, that's it. Is it possible for you to recite it?
No.
Okay, I will do that first. Yeah, you can read it more times after me, okay? 我来先背你听听，然后再请你来背，好吗？ Okay, I will put it here. I will put it on the screen, and so you can look at it. Okay, I will do that first. Yeah, what it means is that there is less mind. There's self-creating, less mind, less self-creating resistance to whatever unfolds, and that resistance is what creates suffering. Okay, one more time. What it means is that there is less mind, there's self-creating resistance to whatever unfolds, and that resistance is what creates suffering. Okay. Yeah, it is a bit complicated. What it means is that there is less mind, less self-creating resistance to whatever unfolds, and that resistance is what creates suffering. That resistance is suffering. is what creates suffering. Okay, that's it. That's it. So, Grace, would you like to read it again and try to recite it?
Oh, okay. What it means is that there is less mind, less self creating resistance to whatever unfolds, and that resistance is what creates suffering.
Perfect. Yeah, recite it, please. Try to do it.
再读一遍，再读一遍。
Sure, sure. You can.
What it means is that there is less mind, less suffering, 不是 less self creating resistance to whatever unfold, and that resistance is what creates suffering.
Suffering. Yes, perfect.
我俩试着背一下啊。
Yes, please.
What it means is that there is less mind, there is less mind, less self creating resistance to whatever unfold, and that resistance is what it was create unfolding. 不是create suffering.
Wow, yeah, that's it. One more time, please. I think you can get it now. Yeah. One more time.
What it means is that there is less
Mind.
there is less mind, less self creating resistance to whatever ever unfold to whatever unfold, and that resistance that resistance is what it was create suffering.
Genius. Yeah, what creates suffering? Cause what is the signal?
What creates suffering?
Yeah, 单数加了一个
what creates suffering? Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah,
Thank you so much.
You have achieved it. Yeah, a big challenge for you. Okay, now let's go ahead with the whole paragraph recitation. Whole paragraphs recitation. 我们一起来把这一整段的都背一下。
Human consciousness is a continuum. On one extreme, humans are identified with the material self. On the other extreme is samadhi, the cessation of self. Every step we take on the continuum towards samadhi brings less suffering. Less suffering does not mean life is free from pain. Samadhi is beyond the duality of pain and pleasure. What it means is that there is less mind, less self creating resistance to whatever unfolds. And that resistance is what creates suffering. Human consciousness is a continuum. On one extreme, humans are identified with the material self. On the other extreme is samadhi, the cessation of self. Every step we take on the continuum towards samadhi brings less suffering. Less suffering does not mean life is free from pain. Samadhi is beyond the duality of pain and pleasure. What it means is that there is less mind, less self creating resistance to whatever unfolds. And that resistance is what creates suffering.
Yeah, that's it. Who would like to recite it for what we learned just now? What we went through just now? Maybe 6 sentences together, right? Who would like to try? Okay, Daisy, please.
Okay.
Hello.
Okay, I'm here. Okay, let me do it. Human consciousness is a continuum. On one extreme, humans identified with the material self. On the other extreme is samadhi, the cessation of self. Every step we take on the continuum towards samadhi brings less suffering. Less suffering does not mean life is free from pain. Samadhi is beyond the duality of pain and pleasure. What it means is that there is less mind, less self, creating resistance to whatever unfolds, and that resistance is what creates suffering.
Yes, perfect. Yeah, who would like to try more? Yeah, so fluently. Yeah, amazing. Okay, I'll try. Yes, Grace, would you like to try?
Tụi Trần có bây Trần có chịu rồi.
Okay, I will try first, okay, and you can take a look at it. Human consciousness is a continuum. Yeah, on one extreme is on one extreme. I forgot. Sorry, I need to take a look at it. On one extreme, okay. On the other extreme, every step. Okay. Human consciousness is a continuum. On one extreme, I forgot it again. Okay, sorry. Yeah, human consciousness is a continuum. On one extreme, humans identified with the self, identifies with the material self. On the other extreme is samadhi, the cessation of self. Every step we take on the samadhi continuum. Yeah, every step we take on the continuum towards samadhi brings less suffering. Less suffering does not mean life is free from pain. Is free from pain. Samadhi is beyond duality. Is beyond the duality of pain and pleasure. Is beyond pain. Yeah, is beyond the duality of pain and pleasure. What it means is that there is less mind. What it means is that there is less mind, and they self creating resistance to whatever unfolds. And that resistance is what creates suffering. Okay, one more time, I'm sorry. Human consciousness is a continuum. On one extreme, humans identified with the samadhi self, with the material self. On the other extreme is samadhi, the cessation of self. Every step we take on the samadhi, every step we take on the continuum towards samadhi brings less suffering. Less suffering does not mean life is free from pain. Samadhi is beyond the duality of pain and pleasure. What it means is that there is less mind, less self creating resistance to whatever unfolds. And that resistance is what creates suffering. So that's it. Thank you. So Grace, would you like to read it? To read it twice, okay? Two times, please.
Read it 可以 ，She's sorry 没办法，太长了。对，他还没有写到。
Yeah, there is a connection between 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 sentences. There is a connection. We need to get clear about it. Okay, you please read it twice.
Yeah, human consciousness is a continuum. On one extreme, humans are identified with the material self. On the other extreme is samadhi, the cessation. Every step we take on the continuum towards samadhi bring less suffering. Less suffering does not mean life is free from pain. Samadhi is beyond the duality of pain and pleasure. What it means is that there is less mind, less self creating resistance to whatever unfolds, and thus resistance is what creates suffering.
Yes, perfect. One more time.
Human consciousness is a continuum. On one extreme, humans are identified with their material self. On the other extreme is samadhi, the cessation of self. Every step we take on the continuum towards samadhi brings less suffering. Less suffering does not mean life is free from pain. Samadhi is beyond the duality of pain and pleasure. What it means is that there is less mind. That self creating resistance towards ever unfolds, and thus resistance is what creates sufferings.
Yes, perfect. Yeah, creates suffering. Yes, resistance. Yeah, creates resistance. This suffering creating resistance. Resistance.
Yeah.
Resistance. Yeah, resistance. Yeah, the stress is on the resistance. 重音在这个 resistance 这个上面。resistance。呀，这个真的，他这个7句里面的这个联系非常的紧密。他首先说的就是这个人的这个思维啊，这个意根是或者是这种色想行识的这种响应，它是从来没有的，这是一个连续体。只要先用在启用的时候，它就在第80就在自然的记录，它就是一个连续体。就一直在启用的这种状态当中，我们也可以看到这个八卦，可以用这个八卦来看它，就是在一端是物质界，在另外一端就是三摩地，它是这样来比喻这个说法的。物质界就是 material self， on one extreme， 这个 extreme 是指极端的意思，这端。humans identified with the material self 就是非常的确认，非常认可这个物质界。甚至现在都是唯物主义了。Yeah, in China it says like this: 唯物主义 materialism. Okay. On the other extreme is samadhi. 在另外一端呢，就是可以我们看得到，在另外一端它就是三摩地。And the cessation of self, 三摩地就是这个对于这个物质界的一个终止，也就是它不启用。你可以认为它不是不启用啊，它不是物质界的那种，它不是唯认物质界，它是那种相融的那种境界啊，它是 cessation of self。那我们就可以看得到，就这两段的这个比喻，你可以认为 samadhi 是在中间，然后另外的 你可以认为一端在这，一位在那，也都可以的，就是两个极端。然后就在从这个极端到另外一个极端是怎么样走的呢？它就是每离开物质界，就是每走进三摩地一步，每走近一步，每靠近一步，那就是 suffering， 就是痛苦就少一步，就是每走近一步，痛苦就少一点，就这个意思。brings less suffering， 就痛苦就少一点。但是少了痛苦并不意味着生活就没有痛苦，就免于痛苦了。因为这里涉及到过去的因、现在的果的问题，还有涉及到这个三摩地，并不是说它能够免于一切的幻化的果报问题，这个不是这样子的，只是去不去感受，把注意力放不放在感受上面而已，或者是感受的当下是不是追随那种感觉而已。所以这个就是在阐明这个非常的精准的一个理论。Less suffering does not mean life is free from pain。然后再就是在说真实的三摩地是什么东西。真实三摩地它是超越于痛苦和快乐之上的，也就是它不是在这个痛苦和快乐的这种论述之中，它是超越于感觉的。然后 what it means 就是它的真实的三摩地的意思是这样的，就是少一点妄想。Less mind， 这个 mind 是指这个天天纷飞的妄想，就是想法。Less self， 少一点这个自私啊，就是 less self。这个自私和妄想，它这些妄想和自私，它是能够对未知领域产生抵触的。因为我们的烦恼，它对未知领域，它就没有一个 open， 没有一个开放的态度，它是一种封闭的，它有障碍的。它就是这种一些妄想，就所知见，还有一些我的一些见解，比如说我慢，它就没办法去，它就会产生这个抵触。这个抵触也就是障碍，是通向未来，就是未知领域的这种障碍。就是 this mind, this self， 这个 mind self 会怎么样的 creating resistance to whatever unfolds。然后再加上这一句，就是 and that resistance， 就这样的这个抵触，这个反抗，它是痛苦的根源。It is what creates suffering， 就是它创造了痛苦。真实的痛苦是来自于这个烦恼所产生的抵触，也就是烦恼所产生的这些障碍之类的。So that's it, and that's what I've learned today, okay? I think we can keep it in mind now. 那我们明天再继续背下一段。下一段的话也是非常精彩的，因为涉及到心经的以及心法的一些描述的术语。So that's it, and thank you. See you tomorrow.